Okay, so it's 11 o'clock, 7:45. It's almost June 30th. So I've asked the aliens to come here. This is the 42nd time I've asked them to come here. It'll be the last time. So I've been showing that we do have good UFOs here. If the information is correct, if things are supposed to play out the way they're supposed to play out, I've been showing that on the first, that we could have our first alien visitation from my spaceships, because they've already flown here and are sitting in the Arctic Ocean waiting for July 1st, 11 a.m. to show up here. The way grandmother structured this is she's expecting her children, who are evil, to show up here tomorrow at 11 a.m. So this is their third chance, their third kick at the can. From what I've been told, this is our 3,003rd life, and that in two past lives, basically we live 1,001 lives each life. Then grandmother once time, then we lived another life where we lived 1,001 lives, and then we one time again. This is our third life where we've lived 1,001 lives. So basically, we've all lived 3,003 lives. And the first two lives of 1001, evil was given a chance to come home tomorrow at 11 a.m. And they refused to come here because they are chicken to let their plan. They can't leave their plan. They've spent 200,000 years in this plan to try to take over creation. And it involves some pretty serious, stuff. I've been told that they have the seven primordial gods have come here and put themselves somewhere in the Midwest inside of creators, and that they're trying to use the white light of the creators, combined with being inside them as a unsuspecting host. Like, imagine when they had their first climax, they would quantum teleport themselves inside of them, now they're inside of them, and then they're all trying to get them to get pregnant at the exact same time so that they can create basically like a dirty bomb. If all seven of these unsuspecting hosts become pregnant at the exact same time, the spirits inside that create the baby's spinal cord on the 6th week, if that happens at the exact same time, all seven of them get pregnant, it's theoretically possible they could mutate COVID. And at the same time, if I begin to go viral, when that happens, I believe it's mid August, there's a plan to drop a nuke on the Bruce Power Station, which is the world's largest nuclear operating plant with 8 reactors, where they got like 60 years worth of spent fuel. So if somebody was to drop a nuke on that, because they have a perceived belief that I am Satan, the spent fuel would amplify the nuclear reaction of sending lots of particles this way. Those particles, as expected, would come flying over here and would hit me in the chest, hit my body, and cause some sort of a chain reaction, internal reaction with all the atoms inside my body, where they could hopefully split them apart and try to get inside my 10th particle. So I have 11 particles. Most people have 10. I have 11. So I have an atom, and then inside that atom is another atom. So they want to get inside that atom, and the one way to do that is to break the atoms apart using a nuclear chain nuclear fusion chain nuclear reaction, by dropping a nuke on me, by telling the world I'm Satan. So if they drop a nuke, all the spent fuel over there is going to send a lot of particles my way, vaporizing me and trying to destroy the universe inside of me. At the same time, at that exact moment as they drop that bomb, somewhere in the Middle East, there'll be 7 pairs of Anishinaabe people whose baby's spinal cord pops into existence at the exact same time. And if that was allowed to happen, then it's possible that that explosion here in mid-August, combined with the creation of the spinal cord of the baby, is how they could theoretically destroy the good side of creation by blowing up the atoms inside my body like a particle accelerator blows apart atoms to look at the quarks. So that's their battle strategy. That's why, theology was created, so that they could get an unsuspecting nation to think I'm Satan and drop a nuke on me while getting pregnant, to try to use the element death when the baby spinal cord forms in 7 different females, to try to destroy the atoms in my body, to lock me away here forever. And you, everybody. So, having had that knowledge, I gave them the ultimatum. I gave evil the ultimatum yesterday, because the spirits in this phone, or the electricity in this phone, that's them. I know that they're listening, and they could very well issue an order to their quantum computer AI, which is located in the parallel universe in the brain, to send UFOs here, which are located in the Bermuda. That's what the Bermuda Triangle is. There are 3 UFOs there that form the Bermuda Triangle. And getting chewed up here by mosquitoes. So, we're kind of in a very close catch-22 phrase. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. I can see how in 9 past lives they may have used this strategy, this exact strategy, to get rid of me. Through theology. There's a way to try to get into my body and split apart my atoms like a particle accelerator using a nuclear bomb with spent uranium fuel rods and Bruce Power. So, this is their last time. And because they've done it, I believe, 8 times thus far, or 9 lives, that they need to do it one more time to see if their plan will work. I've already told them that they've failed miserably in 2 past lives, and that if they fail again tomorrow to bring the UFOs here at 11 a.m., that they're going to fail again, and they'll miss the train to eternity for disrespecting their creator, for not healing my sick dog and my ailing mother. So that's the test. Imagine being given that test by the mother of all creation. You have a choice to make, and you're bad. And that choice is, if you don't come home tomorrow at 11 a.m., we're going to get rid of you, using mankind as our sword. We'll deliver spaceships over there that they can fly over to your planets and blow you up with railgun technology. If you don't deliver our UFOs on the 11th, or on June 30th at 11 a.m. So that's the ultimatum I gave them. So can you imagine being given that ultimatum, but that you've worked so hard for 200,000 years with a final plan to blow up the creator with a bomb because of a nuclear power station where they've spent years and years and years compiling spent uranium rods as a way to try to, create a particle accelerator here using nuclear fusion reactors to blow my body apart using nuclear chain reaction. And then you say, we could go over there, we could live forever and ever and ever if we go give the UFOs to Anthony at 11 a.m., we just fix his dog, fix his mom, and then we all get to live forever. We all turn good. It would seem easy, you would think, that, choose unwaveringly good, right? But because they've been evil for 200,000 years, it's not easy for them. It's hard for them to do the right thing. So, that's why I've given the ultimatum. There's a story behind it. It's a test. Grandmother's testing them to see if they can do the right thing finally on their third try. So, if they don't come here, I was showing that we have UFOs here that are going to come here on July 1st at 11 a.m., 3 of them, to prevent that plan that they have outlined, which means I cannot go viral with my story or my book the way I have in past lives, because it leads to an unfortunate nuclear catastrophe here where I get blown up with a nuke. So to prevent that from happening this life, how would I prevent that? Well, if you've been watching my show, you understand that there's I've designed a new spaceship that's capable of flying through space like Star Trek or Star Wars in the universe, using the hydrogen at the quantum scale by having 11 reactors in the spaceship. So I believe that there's 3 spaceships in the Arctic that are good, that are going to rise up out of the water on July 1st and come here at 11 a.m. because they need to prevent that nuclear attack. They also need to prevent mankind from saying something they might regret. If you've watched some of my videos, you'll know that I'm not going to put up with blasphemy of my holy name for what I did in this house to protect you. There's things I've done that I'm not proud of. And there's certain people who might have a problem with what I've done here. And if they open up their mouth and say, I don't like what you did over there, I think you're Satan, it's blasphemy. Where I won't let them into the kingdom of heaven for saying I'm something I'm not. So I believe to prevent a worldwide catastrophic event where we could probably lose 4 billion people because they believe in the invisible man, because all of them say I'm Satan and that I'm a bad man, my children have come here to prevent that from happening, like a rapture apocalypse, because of evil's weapon theology, which is designed to get people to launch nukes on me so they can try to blow me up using a particle accelerator reaction from the spent fuel rods at the Bruce Power nuclear operating station. So the only way to prevent that would be to have my UFOs arrive here on July 11th, so that if these guys don't show up on June 30th, they're like, okay, they chose to not show up. How do I prevent the nuclear catastrophe? And how do I prevent a catastrophic event of half of mankind saying I'm a bad man when I'm not? Because if people say that about me, it's treason and it's blasphemy. And that is the unforgivable sin mentioned in the Bible. I don't believe grandmother wants to let half the planet perish. We're talking 4 billion people here who stand to be ousted out of heaven because of opening their mouth. So because of that, and the fact that my dog is not doing well, my mom's not doing well, we have to prevent the catastrophic nuclear chain reaction of people dropping a bomb on me because they believe I'm Satan. Not to mention we have to save them as well because they say things about me that aren't true. There's 3 good reasons there as to why I believe we're going to have UFOs here arrive on July 1st at 11 a.m. So I'm making this video now in preparation of that. So if there's UFOs here on July 1st at 11 a.m., this is public record as to why they're here. Now, you see that moon out there? I got up because my dog had to go pee, so I took him outside. And I happened to notice that it's a full moon. Excuse me while I talk to evil for a moment here, mankind. Do you see how that's a full moon, evil? I didn't know it's a full moon. I went outside to take Louie out there, evil, and I said, wow, that's a full moon. You remember Bad Moon Rising? that song I always play for you, Evil? What's that particular lyric that I always play? Hope you are quite prepared to, DIE, right? That's what it says in that song. If you don't show up here on the 11th, I hope you're quite prepared to, be unalived by mankind, who will destroy your planets with highly advanced railgun technology for and Louis and my mother, by not coming here on your third try to turn good. You choose to turn bad. If you don't come here on the 11th, it means you want to remain bad, which means you want a war. And if it's a war you want, and then it's a war you got. So I see a bad moon rising means I see a war on the rising because evil wants to stay bad. So I thought maybe this video might, go a little ways to help you decide whether or not you want to pull that trigger tomorrow at 11 a.m. and not give me what I want after the 42nd time asking for the UFOs. So, there's so many videos regarding that moon, like this Over the Moon. Over the Moon is about a goddess who gets stuck on the moon. Once upon a time, there was a handsome man and a beautiful woman who were in love, which is me and my ex from my past life. And then the intro says, but she accidentally took a magic potion and floated away from him, leaving her true love behind. Now she waits for him on the moon. That's about me trying to convince my fourth cousin, Jaden, to get with me because I believe that she had a little crush on me growing up because of some pictures she found of me where she saw my hair and developed a crush on me because I was handsome back then. So that's what that trailer's about, Jaden. It's about me trying to, get with you. But I've learned through this vision quest that you're quite happy where you're at. You've outgrown that, and that during that I had to let you go. So that trailer is about you and me, having to part ways eternally because you're happy where you're at, and I needed to find somebody else, and that other person I found was Olivia through the clues, such as that moon there. It's a full moon. So Over the Moon is about me being over my ex, Jaden, in favor of Olivia Rodrigo, who happened to do a concert where she floats around on a purple moon. I've shown you those videos in previous videos. So that full moon is you, Olivia. Over the moon means I'm over my ex, in other words. And now you're the goddess on the moon in that trailer. And now she waits for him on the moon because in your concerts, you literally sit on a moon. So that's what that's about, the full moon. There is another video. I think maybe I'll do a little copyright video of this one. So I'm making this one so that I can use my screen recorder to show you the associated videos. So I'm going to show you guys the associated videos that you need to watch with this short video here to see the connections. Okay, so there's that video. The bad moon rising. Then there's Over the Moon, because it means I'm over my ex and I'm waiting to get with this goddess that sits on the moon, Olivia Rodrigo. So there's another trailer called Jupiter Ascending, where the main character, Jupiter, she's in the operating room, and these guys come in there to try to get rid of her. They're about to assassinate her character, and this other guy comes into the room and he shoots those aliens before they could get rid of her. And she lands in his arms and she looks at him like, "Who are you? I'm here to help you." Because she's the mother of all creation, reincarnated on earth who's just an average, ordinary day citizen, which is our story about Olivia being an ordinary, average, everyday citizen, and mother wanting to make her the mother of all creation. So that movie is based on our life. And when he catches her in his arms, it's a representation of me hopefully catching her in my arms tomorrow when my children finally choose to come home at 11. If they do, that's what this video is for. If they don't, well, then hopefully the next day, if I do have my UFOs here, to prevent a catastrophic event of like a nuclear apocalypse, or which precipitates a rapture apocalypse where half of mankind has to be left behind because they talk shit about me. So if you see UFOs on July 1st, it's designed to save you. That's why they're here. Because the evil chose to roll that dice one more time and got rid of themselves. So when she gets caught in his arms, it's either going to happen on 11 a.m. on the 30th or 11 a.m. on the 1st. Being caught in arms and her saying, "Who are you?" Man, when you watch this video, Olivia, you're the mother of all creation, and I'm the father, reincarnated father of all creation, Anthony. And those UFOs are my proof, either on the 30th or on July 1st. Now, the fact that she's in an operating room or an OR is the clue, indicating Olivia Rodrigo as the mother of all creation because of that movie where Mila Kunis, who plays Jupiter, is the reincarnated mother of the universe. Because the sun got rid of her in the movie, which is based on our lives, where our past life, our evil children turned evil and got rid of us, forcing us to reincarnate here. Now, there's a long story regarding me asking for her spirit's hand in marriage. I asked your spirit in February to walk with me on the path of life by playing a song for her called "Marry Me" by Train. I didn't know at that time that was an evil spirit in the brain because of the clones that they got of the brain of you, Olivia, and all the parallel universes. I thought when I asked for that spirit's hand to walk with me and played that song for her by Train, "Marry Me," that it was your spirit here on this planet that I was asking. And it wasn't. I just learned that recently, last week. I've been in love with an evil spirit who wants to be bad because of what evil is doing to your clones in the parallel universe. I don't want to be with a bad spirit, so I broke up with her. But I've yet to ask your spirit here for her hand in marriage. So that's what this video is about. I just got done watching Deadpool. Near the end there. Because I usually put on teaching videos when I go to sleep. So I rented, or I put $50 on my Google account, and I rented 2 movies so far. This Deadpool one I put on, and I was falling asleep. I woke up and I could hear him, and I was watching the end of it. And Deadpool, he looks like, there's a guy called Nice Pool, they call him. Nice Pool. It's, I forget the actor's name now. What his name is. He's Canadian though. Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan Reynolds, there's Deadpool and then there's Nice Pool. They keep fighting over this dog. They want that, Deadpool wants that Nice Pool's dog. So near the end of the movie when there's like 100 Deadpools that show up to fight Wolverine and Deadpool and Nice Pool. Nice Pool turns to the camera and he says, I could break the fourth wall too. Then he looks at the camera. He looks. I see. Ryan Reynolds looks right at me on my cell phone screen. He says, "What about the proposal?" I started laughing. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. I was supposed to ask Olivia's spirit for her hand in marriage. So if you rent that movie, Olivia, Mankind, if you want to rent it, it's near the end of the near the end of the video where there's 100 Deadpools that show up. You'll see Ryan Reynolds turn to the camera and say, "I can break the fourth wall too." When you break the fourth wall, it means talking to the camera in the movie. In the case of this movie, Ryan Reynolds talks to the audience about being Disney's bread and butter or something, or Marvel superhero or something. So in this particular case, when he turns to the camera and says, I could break the fourth wall too. When he turns to the camera and says, what about the proposal? It means, Anthony, you better ask for that spirit's hand in marriage before those UFOs come here. Don't forget to ask for Olivia's hand in marriage. That's what it means. When you see Ryan Reynolds turn to the camera and he says, what about the proposal? That's what it means. And I totally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that, right? I was supposed to ask for Olivia's hand in marriage. Or her spirit. Not your hand, Olivia, but rather your spirit. So, that's what this video is about. I fell asleep because I was really, really tired. And then I just got up and I thought, I better do this video that I'm supposed to do for Olivia's real spirit who's on this planet, who's only 23 years old. So you have a spirit walking around on this planet, Olivia, who is 23 years old and has been listening to me, talk to another Olivia who's one of your evil clone spirits. She's watched me, develop an emotional bond with that spirit and love that spirit, and didn't really present herself until last week when I discovered her. It's like, oh, you got two spirits. Okay, that's what two-spirited means, I guess. Because to be two-spirited means to be, LBGQT community. But it doesn't mean that. It means that we all have two spirits because evil clones our bodies and abuses them and sells them like sexual aids. You can go to a clone store and grab a body off the shelves and put your consciousness in it using advanced technology by deatomizing it, reatomizing it. So we all have two spirits, one that's evil and one that's good. So, having learned that, I'd like to start over with your spirit, Olivia, and I'm going to. So, I've been waiting for the right moment, Olivia, to ask your spirit to walk with me on the path of life. We call that a companion. We don't call it a spouse. We don't call it being married. Basically, in Ojibwe or in Anishinaabe lore, we call them companions. He or she who walks with you on the path of life. So for me, this path of life that I've been blessed with means I have to, hopefully on Tuesday or Wednesday, I have to present myself to mankind as the father of all creation and explain why the UFOs are here. And I'm hoping that, that happens. And if it does, and you watch this video, and me explaining the significance of the evil's plan, the moon, some of this other stuff I've been talking about, and now this proposal. It's more or less like I call it because it's romanticism. I call it like I want to develop a bond with your spirit because ultimately that spirit and grandmother's spirit are interlinked, intrinsically linked. Grandmother is in a higher plane of existence as electricity all over. But your spirit is on this earth here. And it's your spirit that I want to develop that bond with. But also, grandmother wants to develop that bond vicariously through that spirit. Because that's who she wants to be. She wants to be you. So, by asking for your spirit to walk with me as a companion on the path of life, I'm basically asking grandmother again, but this time properly, so that she can get a proper, what did I say? Romanticism. It's not like I'm not binding my soul to your spirit or nothing like that. I'm just simply trying to do something nice for your spirit so that she can feel loved and cherished and welcomed and honored. Like, oh, he finally asked me for my hand in marriage or to walk with him on the path of life. That's why I'm making this video. So Olivia, your spirit that's down here on this planet, will you walk with me on the path of life? And Olivia Rodrigo, when you watch this video, will you too walk with me on the path of life? For eternity, forever. And now I usually play that song, Marry Me by Train, because that's what I did the first time I asked for your hand in marriage through a request. So I'll play that video. But what's going on, mankind, is I'm asking Olivia Rodrigo's spirit to walk with me on the path of life, because I don't feel that we got off on the right foot. I didn't know that she had two spirits, and I was focusing all my love and energy on one spirit that is evil. So I'm now asking this other spirit who's not evil to walk with me, so that she feels the love that I was giving to another spirit. Instead of me giving it to her, I give it to the proper spirit who's here on this planet. And at the same time, I get to ask, her physical body, if she'd be interested in, spending forever as the mother of all creation with me by walking with me on the path of life. Now that last time I asked that first spirit, there was a drawing with a bride on it that I did, and when I came inside, I seen that drawing. I thought, oh, she must have said yes. So, I usually look up on YouTube on my videos on the screen recorder for a response. So, after this video, I'll go in and I'll look for a response on it and see if I can show you what I may perceive to be is Olivia Rodrigo's 23-year-old spirit walking around on this planet's response to my asking for her to walk with me on the path of life on this journey to eternity as a new mother of creator. So that I can begin developing an emotional bond with your spirit, Olivia, before we even get together to get to know one another. I already know your spirit better than you know yourself. So it won't be hard for me to fall in love with Olivia Rodrigo's spirit, because I've already done it with the other spirit. So it's just like transferring that love over to this new Olivia, basically. But it's a grand romantic gesture. We now watch what is this one? Ghosted, with Ana de Armas and the other guy, Captain America. I can't remember his name is. But he asked that girl at the beginning of the trailer. He says, "Do you want?" I was just asking if you want to, go out sometime. And then Ana de Armas says, "Do you want to get a coffee?" And then he says, "Now?" And then she laughs. Yeah. And then he jumps in the car. They have a coffee. They have a one night stand, and then she ghosts him. She doesn't return his calls or anything. So he's sitting there talking to his friends and then saying, "She's fantastic. You'll love her." And then she doesn't talk to him, and it's like, well, maybe she's not hearing your texts and stuff. And one lady says, "Well, you should go to her, go to her." And he says, "I'm going to London." And recently, Olivia has been talking a lot about London. Like, I don't know if she lives there or whatever, but she has been talking a lot about it in her videos that I watch. So when he says I'm going to London, it's referring to me going to Olivia Rodrigo. It doesn't mean I'm going to London. It means I'm going to Olivia Rodrigo, who's been doing a lot of videos lately about London. And then when he's in the cab trying to find this girl, he's telling the cab driver what happened. He's like, "It's a long way to travel for a girl, mate. Well, it's a grand romantic gesture. Grand romantic gesture? I thought she ghosted you. No, she didn't ghost me. She just doesn't have an overseas calling plan. Oh, that's what the taxi driver says. So, me asking for your spirit's hand in marriage, Olivia, is a grand romantic gesture that's designed to say, oh, that was sweet. That guy's so sweet. Did you see how he did that video where he asked for my hand in marriage through the spirit in the song Train, Marry Me? Oh, I can't wait to see what he does for me physically when he asks for my hand in marriage. That's the grand romantic gesture. That's the emotion that I'm trying to evoke from this story.